Believe it or not, as of last weekend, 1 in 5 Americans had not even begun their holiday shopping. And we do know, it's not just a guess, we have hard data that shows that most of them were men, waiting until the last minute. More on that and other consumer trends in these final days of the holiday season. Really final day. You got to get it done now. Greg Daugherty is executive editor of Consumer Reports. And Greg, I know you've been looking at some of the consumer trends over this crucial week. Should we just expect that today and tomorrow are going to be jam-packed at the store?
I think it's going to be pretty busy. As you said, nearly 20% of people said they hadn't started their shopping as of last weekend. 10% of the people we surveyed told us they're going to be in stores on Christmas Eve, so it could be pretty busy out there.
Yeah, Shopper Track's already calling today the #1 sales day of the year. They expect it to be because of that last-minute flood. But what was interesting in some of the research you did here to me is you think that the buzz and the level of internet commerce this year perhaps has been overstated. Only 3% of those you had polled said that they purchased online.
Only 3% purchased only online, and more people, 43%. Purchased exclusively in stores. Among those who shop in both places, it's pretty evenly split. So online is certainly growing, but it's got a ways to go to catch up in terms of the stores, and especially with last-minute shopping, stores tends to be where people go because they don't have time to ship stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, up until very recently, it only been about like 5 to 6% of overall retail sales. So now it is growing, but fair point in terms of exclusive purchasing. Tell me about consumer spending, though. When the consumer gets to the cash register, the willingness to spend, because it does seem we've got momentum up through the month of November.
Right. Our surveys show that people are very, very cautious still. They may be spending a little more, but they're going and they're telling us that they're looking for great values, and they're also less inclined to use credit when they get to that cash register. They're more likely to use cash because they don't want to have those big credit card bills to pay off, January, February, March into the spring, summer, and who knows when they're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been seeing that more debit card usage of late, but it's debit or cash primarily?
Right, and cash even more than debit, it looks like.
So we led into this talking about those holding out, and it typically does end up that male shoppers are the ones who procrastinate the most. Where do you expect these last few dollars, this last rush, to go into?
Well, a lot of stores are staying open late, so the department stores that are open late will get some of it. We also asked people other places they bought holiday gifts. 39% told us at the drugstore, 34% at supermarkets, 13% at gas stations or convenience stores, and my favorite on the list, 1% of people, it's not a big number, but 1% told us they're buying holiday gifts at the vending machine. So
I saw that.
Consumers are very resourcureful.
I was wondering what kind of vending machines. Are they the ones that you see at airports now where you can buy iPods and things like that, or are we talking people being really frugal?
I think it's all over the place. You can buy just about anything in a vending machine these days. I think it's not all, candy bars and cigarettes, but, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you got gold bars and vending machines in Abu Dhabi. We've done that story. Right. But with the last-minute purchasing, it seems statistically that money typically goes on a gift card. That's like the de facto purchase.
Right. Gift cards are probably the #1 thing people buy. 43% of people told us they buy those as last-minute gifts. 20% of people, though, said they give cash instead, and we think that's actually a better idea because in other surveys we've done, we found that a lot of people still have gift cards left over from last holiday season. Many people have more than one of them. And while they changed the rules on gift cards so you have more consumer protections than you used to, if the retailer goes out of business, you could still be stuck with a worthless card. So we think cash still has some serious advantages over gift cards.
And lastly, I see here consumers feel like they're giving more. 42% said this, than the 19% who said they feel like they're giving less than they receive. So is it that the consumers feeling the pain of that purchase more, or are we truly seeing a bit more generosity?
Yeah, that's an interesting statistic. More people say they're giving more and getting less. I mean, somehow it's got to all average out among people who are giving and getting. But it sounds like I think people, want to give even in this this sort of economy. They may be spending a little less on gifts or giving slightly fewer gifts. But people are still into it, and they're still trying to give something to everybody on their list.
Yeah. All right, Greg. And you said you haven't gotten your shopping done yet, so.
Not quite. No.
Not quite. Me neither. I'm with you. So anyhow, Greg, thanks so much for sharing your research from Consumer Reports with us today. Have a great holiday.